A new season has been announced with even buffers to my favourite girl, INDIS, and as well as even more changes, all in patch 1.026. And I'm going to break it all down into subsections. So if you want to go through the timestamps, you can, and go to the section you want to go through. Hello everyone, yes, smash a like, comment and subscribe for more daily videos with me, MrSneakyy. And honestly, I did not see this coming, but big surprise, we've got a new patch notes following up from yesterday's video to do with the migration FAQ. This is patch 1.026, and we get a massive, and I mean a massive load of information that we are going to go through section by section. So if you do want to watch certain parts, you can just skip to it. But as of now, let's just do the basics, right? This is going to come on the 19th. We did know this from the migration FAQ, which did leak the 19th date too with the brand new patch. So this is confirming it, right? So patch 1.026, 19th of this month. So as of this video, it's only 7 days away. So it should be coming out next week, this brand new patch. So let's break down the first part. This is the new season of Strife. This is the brand new season that's on its way, and you're able to basically participate in if you're a player from June 28th of 2024 who has completed 3 or more seasons, right? They will return to their home kingdom and then begin registration for the season of Strife. Then it's going to go through the Rise of Kingdoms method. So the way this is working now, you have a preview, you have the registration, the matchmaking, and an exhibition, right? Bit of a tongue twister. Let's get my words together now, right? So the exhibition part is most likely, I'm going to imagine, going to be some sort of new game mode they're going to add, similar to how the preparation phase in the old Rise of Kingdoms was, where you're able to go into this mode, kill a unique type of mob and stuff, generate server rewards, and depending on where your server gets placed, you're going to get different buffs for that next season. So we'll soon see how this is going to work, obviously, when it fully comes out. But what you're able to know as well in here is if you choose to, you're able to basically skip this season. So one thing again from Rise of Kingdoms, if you choose to, you don't need to register for the season of Strife straight away. You're able to actually skip it. And if you skip it a maximum of 3 times, on the 4th time, you're going to be basically automatically registered, right? So this is basically the new season matchmaking. This is, again, the formula from Rise of Kingdoms. This is pretty similar to how it all works. You don't need to worry about it. If you're from that game, you know exactly what this is. If you're not from Rise of Kingdoms, all this honestly means is the High King is going to be the one who's in charge of their realm. You'll know from the King mails that will come out if you're going into the next season or not. And obviously this will obviously be determined from alliances. So that's the first thing all over and done with, right? So we're going to move into the next part, which is a smoother route of prosperity, which has a massive amount of stuff to go over. So in this section, there's going to be a massive amount of stuff to do with hero XP, the way the reset system was, and even more kind of, I would say, quality of life changes, but these are the changes that are from, again, Rise of Kingdoms, and these are stuff that I expected to come, and why I was arguing to other players why you should be, you know, ready to save all these XP bucks, because you're gonna get a benefit for doing so. So what I'm talking about is in here, when we get to the brand new season, right, there is going to be a new user experience, they've said. They've added a number of test features such as auto exploration, auto peacekeeping, auto gathering, quick collecting, and multi-replenishing resources and multi-speed up, right? These features will be made to a selected number of test servers, so we'll see who is going to get access to them. But I'm actually quite happy with some of these changes. Some of them I'm not. I'm gonna be pretty honest. The auto peacekeeping and exploration one is actually a really good one, even when it comes to quick collecting your resources. But when it comes to auto gathering, I feel like this is actually going to cause more issues than it might solve. So obviously this is going to try and make people able to gather a lot more easier, right? Obviously we'll see how this works in game. However, you've got to always remember, this is a double-edged sword, right? The resource sellers and the guys that farm a massive amount of resources through their bots, have now just got an easier tool to work with within the game to actually operate under those circumstances. So we'll soon see if this is going to be a good thing or a bad thing in the long run for the game. But then we're going into points 3, 4, and this is one thing which is annoying because after 3 and 4 there is no other points to do with heroes, and that's what I'm going to bring up also. So on 3 and 4, you're basically saying to you as a player, your heroes are no longer going to reset. So at the beginning of each season now, any of your XP you've earned for your hero, it's not going to run. They've increased, though, the XP required, though, to reach hero levels 31 to 60 in a season, right? However, this is where it's kind of funny for maybe me and other old school players who've played this game for so long. It says when the new update goes online, your heroes' levels will be restored to their highest historical value. So that would mean in terms of what it states that all of my characters in my account right now, when this patch goes live, in theory, should all go to level 60 because I've hit level 60 and grinded onto those heroes multiple seasons worth of level 60 XP. So no matter what, I should have all of the heroes at level 60. And the crazy thing is this goes into point 4 where tactical manuals will no longer be scrapped at the end of the season, and you'll be able to continue using tactical manuals to even level up heroes after reaching level 50. So all of this again is the Rise of Kingdom mechanics. So all you guys need to know is now, kind of like I was warning a lot of players in chat, even though they were arguing it, you're going to be able to hoard all of your XP bucks. All of your heroes are most likely going to be level 60. So when these brand new heroes come out, you're going to have, honestly, all the XP needed to instantly level them to level 60, and you won't need to worry about it because you're just going to be farming all these tactical manuals anyway from completing dark lanes and just peacekeeping stuff throughout each season of the game. So what does this mean? It just means, obviously, for the player, it's going to be a little bit more boring, and it is going to allow the players who hoard stuff to get a massive advantage, right? So this is going to be one of those interesting parts of the game. Also on this, we've got once you reach city level 4 and possess over 100 keys, you can choose to open all the chests immediately, which is kind of cool, and you can select to draw 10 times on the artifact draw screen, which is nice, and you can skip all those animations. So that's kind of just some nice quality of life changes. I'm not going to say that's bad, it's actually pretty good. The storage limit on your war pets has been increased, that's really good too, and the hero recruitment screen now can only open for 1 free silver chest per day. So that's kind of weird, right? But don't worry, you'll be also given more free silver keys in Titan Legacy. So I don't understand this, because if we're only going to open 1 per day, but we're getting more keys in the thing, does that mean the Titan's Legacy is just going to give us like 30 keys? So that covers a month worth, and you only get 30 silver keys now. Like, it's weird how they've reduced the free-to-players ability to get some resources, get some scrap for them heroes. Like, they can do a lot of stuff with the 5 silver keys. So we'll see if this brand new 1 free silver chest actually gives you the same amount of resources or not. So that's going to be obviously one to wait for. And then the Alliance help progress will now be shown on Alliance technology and construction speed pages. So that's just a nice little quality of change. So to be honest, so far, let's go over a quick little summary. So far, the top section, obviously we know of it, but when we're coming into this section, I'm not too happy about, again, just how things are going. This is just becoming Rise of Kingdoms 2.0, and the thing is, a lot of players didn't quit Rise of Kingdoms to play Call of Dragons, which had all these brand new mechanics and ways and philosophies of playing the game, and just to abandon them, right, and just go back to the Rise of Kingdoms philosophy. A lot of this stuff could have been addressed earlier on, like a lot of content creators have always spoken out on, right? Same with like the Hero XP resets, right? All of this Hero XP reset malarkey now no longer resetting. The problem is, you'll notice there's been no allocation and there's no mentioning to the skill lock system. So even now with patch 1.026, we still do not have the brand new skill lock system in the game. So we're gonna most likely have to wait, guys, until you're in the brand new season of Strife in order to get that skill lock system, which is even longer than they've promised, which is just even crazier. Like, one of these, you've added all these brand new auto mechanics no one asked for, and the one major mechanic everyone asked for is still not in the game. So I'm hoping it comes very, very soon. Otherwise, a lot of players are going to get annoyed. And to be honest, might just leave the game, because why should they play a Rise of Kingdoms 2.0, right, when they signed up to play Call of Dragons? Let's just be honest. They signed up to play Call of Dragons. They didn't sign up to play Rise of Kingdoms. They left that game, most likely, to this one. So it is what it is. However, we're going to go into this next section. The next section is a very, very long section. It is going to be a richer combat experience. It's all to do with the PvP changes coming to Call of Dragons. So, the first things first, there is actually a really good change coming into this game right now. New March Attack Mode. This is actually a feature in Rise of Kingdoms, as you can imagine, that's been implemented into this game. And what you can do is basically turn it on with your settings. And if you have it on, all you need to do is move your troops. Because if you move your troops and they're in the vicinity or range of an enemy, they're going to start attacking that enemy, which is really, really cool. And the cool thing by doing that is all you need to worry about then is more of a movement thing, right? You can move left and right and let your march do all the attacking if this system works as good as it does in the other one, right? So we'll soon see how this is going to be implemented. They've also added PC hotkeys, so you can change the allow to give orders more quickly too, which is really nice. We're still waiting for the PC update, you know, so we can zoom out. We want to be able to zoom out a little bit more, just like 1 or 2 extra clicks, so we don't have to, you know, it's too claustrophobic. Everyone will agree it's too claustrophobic to play. Now, this is where things get interesting, because they are addressing and changing a lot of the heroes. Some of them are not really big changes. They're just, you know, wording the engineering trait, for example, or peacekeeping to be a little bit more beneficial now for you in the game. However, the one person they did touch, my girl, the girl wonder INDIS, they have changed this hero, which is scary, because what they've done is, in this first point you can see, is they inflict the infirm on the target, as we know, and we get to heal, right? So we put a 2-second infirm of 20% extra damage with 350 healing, right? However, now it's getting changed. Now we're dealing diffuse damage to the target legion, and to 2 nearby legions are inflicted with infirm. You also still lightly heal 2 nearby friendly units. So this is where we go down. We can see we've got a 2-second debuff, which is really nice, which we've always had. And then you've got the 400 damage factor, which is nice, man. A nice bit of extra damage, which wasn't there before. And then 350 healing factor. And the thing is, with this, obviously, damage factor being applied, you've got to remember, we're getting instant value when this is applied. As soon as this 2 seconds is on, that 400 damage is getting that infirm of 20% extra. So we're getting about 480 damage there per tick, right? And that's just from AoE of this hero. So not too shabby at all for a free-to-play earn hero. Then, on top of this, they've changed just a little bit of the hero's maximum legion capacity. So now you can see the 20% is the same, but all they've done is change the numbers, right? So this is the 7,500. This equates now instead to a maximum legion capacity of 7%, right? So they've just changed these two numbers around. Now we're going to go into the X area, right? And this is where things are going to be a bit sad on my part, because when you awaken this hero, you used to get a 3-second duration, and that was where a lot, honestly, of the power did lie into INDIS, right? 3 turns of 20% extra damage taken onto 2 targets allowed you to bring INDIS as a support match and actually excel at buffing the other 4 matches in your, you know, scenario murder ball you have. Now they've got rid of it. That's the sad thing. But they increased the damage factor even further. So now, when you awaken this hero, you maintain the infirm buff of 2 seconds, which is a nerf on that end. But we do get a damage factor of 600, meaning, again, that would be 10% is 60, times that by 2, basically, you're getting 120. So our damage factor is 720 damage, and we're healing 450 on that zone. So is it bad? I don't know. I actually think it's going to be okay, because for the whole purpose, I kind of use my INDIS to buff my, my archer marches. And the cool thing is, 2 seconds and 3 seconds is going to obviously make a big difference on the other marchers doing extra damage, but they still going to generate 2 seconds worth of normal attacks, which are more buffed and going to do more damage still, and that target's taking some extra damage. So we will see if this is going to be good or bad in the, obviously, future. Hopefully they might buff her again, and all I would say if there's a dev listening is, honestly, you just need to put the infirm to 3 seconds. That was honestly perfect. 4 seconds probably is too long, and 2 seconds was definitely, I feel like, a bit too short. So 3 seconds felt like it was the beautiful middle ground in between. Now we're going to go on to a bunch of heroes that honestly isn't going to take as long as our girl INDIS. We've got our Nika changes here and Bahkar changes. So if you're wondering what's happening is, before, all these used to do were peacekeeping damage, right? So they used to do just 30% peacekeeping damage on both of them. Now they also grant you 30% extra XP while peacekeeping. So technically, if you are trying to level up new heroes, you don't have the XP bucks, but you have access to Nika or any peacekeeping based hero now, I believe, they are going to give you more peacekeeping XP through that, killing Darklings, which is nice. It just means they've got an extra roll on top. So now we're going to come to Alistair. Alistair is getting a change too, and this is one thing where I know a lot of players wanted him to get a buff, and this does look really, really good. However, I think a lot of players want another type of buff to this hero, and I will explain why. So they've changed his AoE. He's got to deal damage to a target and to 2 nearby targets, right? And he deals 600 damage. Now, which is really cool, he does the same thing. He deals damage to the target and 2 nearby legions, and inflicts cower, which is a brand new mechanic we've been introduced, which is reducing the counterattack damage dealt by 20% for 2 seconds. So now he's doing 600 damage to an AoE and inflicting this counterattack damage dealt reduction buff for 2 seconds. Is this enough? I personally don't think so. The problem with Alistair is he's an epic hero that a lot of free-to-play players want to use, but the problem is he's got the rally talent and he's got the rally skill. If you want to change Alistair to make him more viable, in my opinion, all you need to do is make that skill something unique, or just give him some more stats for cavalry in that slot instead, which makes it more viable to use him on the open field, because that's kind of where everyone wants to use him. He's an epic hero. He's not meant to be rallying. That's what a legendary hero is designed to do, right? So now let's go down. The skill range also in brackets says has been increased, but we'll see how big the new template is going to be. And the Light of Solan. So whenever Alistair's Legion has over 50% units remaining, it has 20% chance to gain riposte and when launching normal attacks. Now it's changing again, right? So when Alistair's Legion has 50% units remaining, they just have this when launching normal attacks. This is going to be a 30% counter attack damage and a 30% rage accumulation speed bonus, which is nice. And then this can be triggered every 5 seconds. So it's a nice big buff to them. So now we're going to go to some other heroes. We've got Bahkar. Bahkar's getting a kind of buff, which is deals damage to a target legion, granting Bahkar Legion Rampage, which is cool, which is 20%. Now it's going to be deals damage up to 3 enemy legions in front and grants Bahkar Legion Rampage. So they've given the epic hero here AoE. Who would have thought some AoE to this and increase the damage dealt by 20%? This could be interesting, right, in the future. Because when we're looking at stuff like the next change, they've gone again and previously changed Bahkar's Legion. Whenever he gets attacked by someone, he has a 10% chance of inflicting a gloom. But now this is again buffed. So now whenever he's hit with a normal attack, they have a 20% chance to inflict gloom on the target, which is even greater, right? And then previously, his last ditch strike, this is the awakening for your Bahkar. When he has less than 50% units remaining, they have a 50% chance to inflict bleed on that target when counter-attacking. So you can see how this works. Now, when Bahkar's Legion is less than 50% and units remaining, they inflict bleed and on the target when counter-attacking. The difference is here when we look, physical 200, 3 seconds. This is now 3 seconds physical and 200. I don't see the difference really in this, apart from, I believe it's this part here to do with the counter-attacking. So we'll see what is going to go on when the Bahkar's Legion is less than 50%. It's the same, right? So nothing's changed here. It's just, I think that this is a guarantee now, right? So instead of this being, they have a 50% chance to inflict the buff, now Bahkar, they inflict the bleed. So they just do this now. So this could be something interesting again in the future. We'll soon see if the brand new bleed is going to be anything to be, scared of. Eliana is getting the same peacekeeping buff, so I'm not going to go too crazy on her. She has now extra XP put on. Craig has now got on the engineering when building and destroying. I don't understand what this really is. A big change. It's 10, 12, 14, 16, 20. When building buildings or when building and destroying. So that's the only difference. They've made it so if you build or destroy with him, you gain the same buff. Okay, no one really cares. Changed Staff the Prophet. This is previously 8-hour cooldown, right? And with this, it's a new way of the teleportation works, right? So all you want to know with this new one is the Legion is going to get prioritized with your own friendly legions first. So if you do have a bunch of different troops, your troops are going to get prioritized first. And then you can see this has now a 3-hour cooldown, which is really cool. And after the 6-second charge up, your Legion and 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 nearby friendly legions are teleported to the location. So no matter what, you've always got this at level 1 to max. So it goes from an 8-hour to a 3-hour cooldown. Nice little buff. The Wolf Woman as well, getting a nice little small buff, immediately teleports you into a small area. And then obviously when you do this, it teleports you back. Now, select an empty area within your range, teleport your Legion to that location. 50 seconds later, or when your skill recasts, your Legion will return to the original location. The first enemy Legion that your Legion attacked after the skill was cast takes additional damage. Now, this is the buff here, boys, right? So you're going to get this range and then this 30% extra damage dealt onto that target. So that's going to be a really interesting thing. Because now Cavs have this way they can come in, poke, apply a debuff, get out, and the backline can shred that target now in theory. Let's just be honest, right? So let's see how this plans out. Obviously, it's a nice little buff to Cavs. I think the Cavs player will be happy with that, but Cavs needs a little bit more work, let's be real. Changes to Ancient Roots. This is just the gathering stuff. We don't really care, honestly, about that when we're talking about this. But now they've changed the Springs of Silence artifact. This used to do 3200 damage to 3 targets, and it used to do that little slow to them for 20%. Now it does 3200 damage in an arc, right? So maybe they've changed that, and now it's a 60% slow for 10 seconds. So you're getting triple the amount of slow on this. I like to see this because this means they are buffing the older artifacts and put them more in line with the newer stuff, right? I actually enjoy this. It's really, really good. So when we come to the Grey Mass Warhammer, this was the same thing. It's stunned for up to 5 enemies. It's 4 all the way across, but it did 3200 for 2 seconds. Now it's the same. However, it's 4 seconds on that stun. Really, really good. Nice little buff there. 2 seconds added on. So that's why it's really good to see these older artifacts getting some love and attention for once, right? Now on this, improve the Dragon Trail user experience. Auto unlocked conditions for auto battle. Sure, we don't really care about this. If you want to look at it, it is what it is. But the last two things I do want to look at is the scoring rules. They've changed the way Supreme Ancestor statues or just statues work in the Season B2, because the way the current meta kind of ran, where if you stood inside the box, you would generate, score for the enemy. So the way players used to do it were you fight outside the box, kill the enemy, and then jump inside the box to get some score, and then you went and jumped back out, right? So it was really weird where it wasn't meant to do that, right? You're meant to be gaining merits and gaining score points throughout the whole area. So that's kind of what they're doing here. They're making it so the bigger the area to gain merits. Really nice actual change to see that. But then they've added dynamic difficulty added for behemoths. When a behemoth layer opens, the behemoth will become progressively weaker, and behemoth difficulty will be reduced as the season progresses. So basically, if you are unable to complete a certain behemoth when it comes out because it's too hard, like the Hydra or maybe like the Necro Giant, you're going to be able to try and fight this later on in the seasons because they're going to make the stats of that behemoth weaker and weaker. So actually, a really good change here for this patch. So let's go into the next one. This is to do with the new accessible map and other features that we need to fill out to finish out the patch note. So the map and events on the way to Call of Dragons 1.026. Just to remind you guys, that's what we are doing. They've improved the flip speed when you're doing exploring cave stuff and getting the rewards of huge success. They've also, when searching for Darkling Legions and Belrin forces, the maximum level of Darkling Dwarven Patrol you can search for is now set at the highest level. That's really good. So you can just find the highest one straight away. You don't need to scroll across. I'm waiting for them to add in the feature to just search for forts. Just why not just let players search for forts? It's just silly. It's the most mundane excuse not to add it in, but we'll soon see. Hopefully they'll add that in the future. But then more enjoyable events. This is to do with the new summer event on its way. So since summer is coming, we've got a 7-day event. You can imagine there's going to be a new city-themed skin with a frame, with all that jazz. We've kind of used to it now. If you've not played one yet, this will be your first time. Welcome. This is going to give you basically some decent rewards. And if you are wondering, for spenders, normally in these 7-day events, especially like the summertime, the autumn one and stuff like that, and the winter, you'll get these special sales. So this could be a really good sale process as well for you guys if you plan on spending. I probably won't, just to let you guys a heads up on that. But then they've added some of extra stuff, right? So there's still like your alliance quiz, this chance of encounters and that. But when we come back down to the bottom, this is where it gets really interesting. The comeback event. So this is when the players who have quit the game might be coming back. And if they come back, they'll be able to give gifts and help old friends return to the battlefield. And you can also choose to begin your adventure in a new realm. So that's going to be interesting on how that comeback feature works. It might be the same feature as Rise of Kingdoms, because this is a feature in that game too. And if you want me to make videos on some of these features that are in Rise of Kingdoms that you could basically see in Call of Dragons, let me know in the comment section down below. But now we've got Behemoth Raid user experience improvements. All of the Behemoths are now available in Behemoth Raids. That's really good. So the Frost Giant, Thunder Rock, Magma Demon, and the Frost Dragon all in Behemoth Raids. We don't have the boring, just, same two that we've had so far. Each event lasts 2 days with random behemoths available each day, and the same behemoth will not be available twice. Challenge one or both and claim incredible rewards for victory, which is really good. Adjusted the Titan Legacy challenges and obviously certain stuff to do with Alliance of Nations and the reward structure for it, if you remember, with the silver keys we spoke about earlier. So, we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. Look, we've got the last little bit. This is the big one, though, to do with Alliance System Improvements. So, Alliance System Improvements. The personal honor point rankings are now shown in Alliance rankings. That's really good, right? Since at the moment, the personal honor ranking table is only accessible through the global leaderboard. So this does allow you to gauge where you are at in your alliance against other players, similar to your power. Not bad at all. When purchasing daily deal bundles, the free wooden chest issued will appear on the Alliance gift page as one special wooden chest, which contains the rewards equivalent to the same free. So that's just basically stopping the horde of like 50 or 500 billion wooden chests and cutting it down. So I kind of do like that. It's a good one. I'm not going to lie. The base capacity of Alliance storehouses has been greatly increased from 500,000 across the board basically to 1 million basically across the board. They've doubled up almost on everything on there, right? So everything's been doubled. So you can imagine now in that storehouse, look, I'm just saying, if it's only 1 million, does that mean you only can take 1 million wood in the things? I'm kind of confused now, right, on migration. But we'll soon see. We're going to migrate ourselves, and we'll give you guys that whole loadout. However, continuing on to the patch notes, coordinates given in Alliance decrees now include server information. So that's just a nice little prop from them. Migration items are now available in the Alliance store. You can be restocked every week. You can purchase a limited amount of migration items using Alliance points. So we'll see if they've improved this from the backlash already from yesterday, right? Because they announced that we was only able to buy 1 permit per week from your Alliance store. So that means you'd get 4 permits in total. So maybe they've increased that to maybe like 3 or 5. 5 would be a nice one that you could buy, and then maybe reducing the cost instead of being 400,000, which is ridiculous. But we'll see this in the game since they didn't want to disclose that information. Improve the Alliance donation user experience. Okay, we don't really care about that. And improve the layout of an announcement setting pages for Alliance screen. Cool. This will be nice when we see it in game. This stuff doesn't really matter when you just think about, you know, everything else in the perspective of this game. However, to the final last 2 points, improve the hero dialogue experience in City, which is cool. Improve the story experience in Season 1 and 2. Whatever that is, sure. Other improvements, improve the Warpet skill icons, making different Warpet skills more visually distinct. Reduce the frequency of daily dialogues with heroes. Improve the reporting system. Improve the display of village quests. And on top of that, cooldown for Legion markers has been reduced from 5 seconds to 1. Oh, we finally got there. We've done all of the entire patch notes, right? So what do I think about it, right, since we've done it all? Obviously, this game is, as I've kind of titled it, is becoming Rise of Kingdoms, guys. This is basically Rise of Dragons right now. Every system that we've seen being implemented is just a carbon copy of Rise of Kingdoms. It would be just nice to see them maybe adopt that system and just like change it in some way, you know, make it their own, right? Instead of just reskinning it, you know, being Call of Duty and just bringing out the same game every single year, right? We don't want to see that. We wanted to see a little bit of a different path of things. Obviously, the hero changes are interesting. We'll see if, obviously, Bahkar and even INDIS is going to be any better. Same with the Alistair. I don't think Alistair is going to be that great. The season of the Strife is going to be coming though, so who knows? June 28th, right? Basically, I'm expecting this to be landed, so we'll soon see when that is and what this new season has to offer, right? A brand new map. Hopefully this brand new faction is going to be in the game, and we'll get to see what is up for offer. So I hope to God in here they've got like 3 new behemoths at least in this new season. If it's another 2 behemoths, I'm going to be just sad to see that, because I don't want to see more recycled old content we've all been playing for the longest of times. But as a whole, the patch notes isn't too bad. I'm not gonna be too ruthless. I'm not gonna be that savage. It's not too bad. It's got quite a lot in there. A lot of good hero changes, some bad hero changes, some good stuff to do with the hero XP system. But again, the bad thing about hoarding and people wanting to get away from that horde system, that was the whole Rise of Kingdoms issue, and obviously all the different things. So if you've been listening to my voice all the way through today's video and you've enjoyed it, you know what to do. Smash a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this patch. Are you excited? Are you not? Are you thinking this isn't going to change how the home kingdom or the migration process is going to be? You know, is this not good enough to sugarcoat basically the horrible migration system a lot of people are really angry about at the moment? Let me know. And with that, stay safe, guys. Stay sneaky. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.